Have you ever seen those gym commercials? The one where people look smiley and sweaty at the same time. Does that ever make you want to work out? Well, if not, I have some reasons why you should. Hi, my name is Zoe Hardiman, and today I'm going to be talking to you about why we should focus on our foods and our fitness. So let's first talk about America's declining health rate, and it's no secret that America's health is declining. First, let's address the obesity epidemic. In about the 1950s through the 60s, the obesity rate in the U.S. was about 13%. But now it's tripled in the last over about almost 60 years. And this is according to the CDC, posted in an article by USA Facts. And then we have mental health within the US. And I'm not just talking about a specific mental illness because there are lots of different ones. I'm just talking about stress and overall just mental health in the US. Everybody is so stressed all the time. Everybody's worried. Everybody's constantly on the move. It's like we don't know how to rest. We don't know when to stop. And a lot of people are unhappy because of how stressed they are. Then let's talk about fitness standards. I believe the fitness standards in the US have gotten increasingly low, specifically within our school systems. And an example of this would be when I was a freshman in high school, we were required to take a health and PE class to graduate. But in this class, we were required to run a mile before the course was over. But by the time it came to run the mile, there were people that would just walk it or half run it or didn't really give an effort, but they still passed the class. And this didn't make any sense to me because they weren't pushing the standards that the class was supposed to be there for. Health and PE class was to ensure that people knew, okay, this is good for your body, this is bad, this is what we want you to focus on, but the class did not achieve that. Fitness standards were highly pushed in starting in about the 1956 in like elementary schools, middle school by President Eisenhower when he saw that the American youth's health was so bad, and he used something called the Presidential Fitness Test, very similar to what we have today known as the PACER fitness test. But when you're in elementary school, that stuff is a lot more enforced than it is now as you get up into high school. So all these things are happening and there has to be a reason. So let's talk about some of those things. So laziness is one, definitely. So whether it just means you are laying around on the couch all day watching TV, you're not doing anything, you're not moving around. And then there can be laziness within cooking, because instead of cooking something that's good for us and may take 30 minutes to an hour, we go through a drive-through and we get something that's not as good for us. So both of those things are going to affect the U.S.'s health rates. Then we have technology, whether it's TV, phones, and even at school. Whereas we used to spend lots of time outside all the time running around, at school we're forced to sit in desks for 8 hours a day. And after you get into about middle school, and you may have recess in middle school, but you get into high school and you don't have that outside time. And I think that is a big reason why kids aren't so active anymore. And then you have food, obviously. So I referred to fast food earlier. So let's talk about like the calories within fast food. So like a particular American meal would be like a hamburger, fries, and then a Coke. In the 1960s, a meal like this would be around 600 calories, whereas to now, the meal has doubled in size to about 1,200, and that's not including if you want to large size your meal, which could be up to another 1,000 calories. So you're talking about eating the whole day's calories for one meal, and so that's definitely a reason that contributes to America's declining health. So now that you know these things, now that I've scared you a little bit, what can we do about these things? So focusing on our fitness and our foods. So with working out, according to Cleveland Clinic, about 74% of adults are concerned about their weight. So obviously, working out and focusing on good food together is going to help you to lose weight or maintain a good weight. And then another benefit of working out is you release endorphins when you work out. Endorphins make you happy. You also have a lot more energy when you work out, when you would do like not a meaningless task, but like a minimal task. Like something like carrying the groceries may exhaust you, but then you start working out for a couple months, maybe lifting weights, running, and then you notice, oh, this isn't so exhausting anymore because you've gained some endurance and you have more energy. And then let's talk about the food side of it. Obviously, when you eat foods that are better for you, you're gonna have more energy. You're not gonna have that lethargic feeling that you feel, which is like after you eat Thanksgiving dinner, you feel like you wanna take a nap, even if you're not really tired. You're not gonna get that from food that is good for you, from high protein sources, vegetables, fruits, even desserts sometimes as well. Watching what you eat also helps your weight. It helps keep your weight down or keep you at a steady weight. And watching what you eat while you're trying to get to a goal can also help to improve your activity. So like, for example, I'm a runner and I actually did a 10K yesterday. And let's say if I would have eaten fries or hash browns and a biscuit before I ran, I would not have performed as well because my body would not have responded well to all the oils, the heavy calories, and the food. Instead, I ate like toast, peanut butter, and eggs, things that were good protein, good fiber, and had carbs in it. That way my body could respond to those things very well. So now that I've given you a lot of information, let's talk about action. And I want you to listen to something that Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Basically what this means is that you can wish something to happen all you want. You can say, oh, well, my goal is like to buy such and such car. But if you don't have a plan, okay, I'm gonna save money on this, I'm not gonna spend money on this, you're never gonna get to your goal. It's the exact same thing with eating and working out. So with working out, you wanna make a schedule. Not everybody's schedule is the same as yours, so you wanna put your workouts around your own schedule. You also want to have some accountability, whether that is an app, whether it's a coach, or whether it's a friend that you go to the gym with, or you go on a walk with, or a run with. You also want to find a workout or something that's fun for you to do, whether it's playing pickleball, going for a walk, going swimming, riding a bike, things like that. And then with food, meal prep has become incredibly popular in the past 10 years. It's basically when you're bulk prepping foods. Like, let's say instead of cooking rice for one meal, you're cooking it for 7 meals, and chicken or vegetables or whatever kind of meat in the same way. And dessert can always be included into these things. Just because you're focusing on your foods and your fitness doesn't mean you can't ever treat yourself. It doesn't mean you can't eat cookies or pizza, but you want to make sure that you are focusing on things that are really good for your body and that are nutritious for your body. And lastly, I want to speak about some personal experience in this area, is that my body feels a lot better when I'm eating things that are good for me, when it comes to like chicken, beef, and then I center my whole meal around that. So centering my meal around protein, adding in carbs, adding in vegetables, fruits, adding in desserts, all those things, it makes my body feel better. It helps me to perform better, whether it's in school or in athletics. So just to round it off, I want you to think about the numbers, about America's declining health. Think about your own health and what you would like to do to change that, and then set a goal and take steps to achieve that goal. Thank you for listening. Go around, Pamela.